welcome to Frugal Family Gardens. My name is Julie, and this morning, my Olivia, my oldest, she wanted to get out here and do some planting, and so we did. We got out here, we weeded, we sprayed what we couldn't pull, and even sprayed in the areas where there had been the weeds. Olivia did a whole bunch of prep that I'm about to show you, and we sowed some seeds. We've got blooms on our strawberries. So compare this to the photos I'm going to include of how this looked before and see how much better. Oh my goodness. So Olivia took the pot out and then weeded the whole area, then put down cardboard and paper, then put in new soil, both in the square and in the pot. And then she went ahead and sowed sage all around here to make our own little sage smudges and such. And she used the fork to mark it, just like I told you that we're gonna use our dumpster salvaged forks and knives as plant markers. Then I went ahead just now and sowed the nasturtiums and the marigolds in here, the marigolds around the outside and then the nasturtiums in the middle, just because of their expected height. And we will see what comes up first. It's gonna rain within the next like 2 hours, so I'm not even gonna bother watering any of this. And then we'll see what comes up, then we'll thin as necessary. We will feed these. It is going to be glorious. Do you wanna be in this or no? My amazing gardening partner, yeah, she was busy this morning, and I was just wanting to sleep in, but she got out here and got going, and that motivated and inspired me, and so I got out here, and yeah, we got to work, and it's wonderful. So I also went ahead and started cleaning up along here, pulling weeds. It still needs to be swept, but boy, just the difference already, just from doing this. Now, we are still waiting for all of these pieces of sidewalk and curb to settle as the, what do you call it, tree roots from the tree that we chopped down, as those continue rotting. Either that or the city finally eventually comes and tears this out and redoes it for us, but we're not counting on that. So our goal is just to make it look as nice as possible in the meantime. So some of these you can see there was no way to pull those out. So we pulled what we could and then sprayed them. They will die. I do not like using those sprays, but sometimes you just have no choice. So anyway, then there's this. There is this. And I kind of left off where I was before on it, and where it is going to be raining, I'm not going to work on it at the moment, but maybe this afternoon or evening, as my day is pretty well free, maybe I will go ahead and come out and do something. I don't know. We really do need to get down to the roots of it, if you will, and see kind of what the base looks like, and you know, is there anything, a structure in here that is holding the mailbox in place, or are we going to need to build this up from scratch? I really don't know. Stay tuned. Also, while we're out here, you have got to see all of the new tulips that are coming up, blooming, being beautiful, doing what they do. We have just the most gorgeous, glorious colors of tulips. Oh, I mean, if that doesn't make your heart happy, I just don't know what will. Yes, and that makes it even, you know, bearable that we also have weeds. Oh, weeds. All right, I have brought out a couple of tomato cages, one small, one large. And my hope and my goal is that these dumpster salvaged clippers of mine, I just don't know if they're going to be strong enough, but what I want to do is trim these down and make them shorter so that I can use them over here for the peonies and the hollyhocks that were falling over a lot last year. Use some there, and then also try to negotiate some onto these other hollyhocks. Maybe these ones won't be so bad because they do have quite a bit of support and, you know, blocked from wind on two sides. I don't know. I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I'm going to try to cut those down to use as cages over here to avoid some toppling later. I'm gonna need both hands for this. Took some elbow grease, a little bit of muscle power, but we did it. So check that out. How about that? So I'm gonna go ahead and do that with the other one, and we're gonna add these to some of these topply plants. I was just thinking I also have these ones. I can't remember if we even had these bloom last year. I don't think so. And it's gonna be pretty tricky to try and put one of these in there at this point, but maybe I'll try. I don't know. The other thing I could do with these ones though is affix some string around them to the trellis for support. So yeah, I don't know that I'll do one with those hollyhocks right there. Something else that I just noticed over here, some of you will remember that I had been dumping just all of the foliage of anything that I was chopping down. You can see evidence right here. Any of the extra, I was just dumping it over here, including seeds, and was gonna just see what happened, was gonna cover it with dirt. But then of course we tore down the rock wall from the driveway and ended up with all these rocks that needed a place to at least temporarily live. And I do want to form this into something, a rock garden, but I did just notice that we have a whole bunch of little beauties popping up, and I'm hoping that these are from, see, there's even some of the seeds I dumped over here. I'm hoping that these are good things. So my thought is, let's just let this part, kind of do what it's doing, see what happens, thin it out, because there's tons of these popping up. I mean, there's a lot. Thin it out a little bit, maybe pull some of them and pot them up and kind of see what they are, because I do want to build this up, and if I were to put all the dirt here, these would just completely get choked and they'd be gone, suffocated, buried. So let's let them do what they're doing. I am gonna go ahead and thin them and let maybe 5 of them get big enough that I can go ahead and pot them up, and then I can work on kind of transforming this space, see what those end up being. They might end up being planted right back in here. We'll see once we know what we're dealing with. There you go. We've got the peonies all set up, and that is prepared for the hollyhocks. Next, weeds. Weeds. And then build up these rock spaces, put in dirt, put in seeds, and see what happens. I went ahead and cut some others way down and put them here where our fall flowers will be coming up, things like mums, because those do tend to flop over when it rains, and that always drives me crazy. Something I'm noticing is a situation here with this mum. I think it's time to go ahead and divide it, actually, because we'll see how that one, it's all together, nice big clump. This, and this one's been here a long time, it's all separated like this. So when this tulip is done, I might go ahead and see what's going on here, dig this up and see if I can't divide it and have me several mums that I can then move about throughout the garden. But I'm excited to have finally gotten these cage things done, these tomato cage upcycles, and let's just see how it does. Once like the peonies come up, no more flopping over. Let's see what it does to kind of the shape and presentation of them. Same with the mums and the hollyhocks. I'm excited. It's going to be good. Or, well, it'll be an adventure. I have left just a couple of dandelions to flower out here for the bees, but I will not let them go to seed. I'm going to let these stand for maybe another day or two. And then I am going to go ahead and pull those up. And there's like a couple others that maybe are right about to flower. I don't know that I'll let those do that. Yeah. So I've done my part, I feel like, in being responsible for the flowers, the bees, but I don't want to have to be fighting this all throughout this little lawn. So we will be pulling those up in the next day or two.